Hello once more. I'm going to run through a few more albums with you that present to you that I've picked up recently. The first is the Swingle Singers' Greatest Hits, and for those of you who might not have heard of the Swingle Singers, they were like an a cappella group that did a lot of Baroque covers of classical music, which is what this is, mostly classical music. They also recorded some pop albums where they were covering things like Beatles songs and some of the hits of the 1960s. They were very popular in the 1960s, and if you were to ever hear them, you'd understand why. It's very retro, very 60s, and it's very good. Movin' and Groovin', The Three Sons, Stereo Action, The Sound Your Eyes Can Follow. This is one of that part of the great series that RCA put out in the early 1960s of music with great stereo separation, almost audiophile type recordings, and the Three Sons were an instrumental group, very popular late 50s, early 60s. Very thick cover. Really nice packaging. It has the story of Stereo Action on here. It's kind of exotica. Cool and strange music. Next we have Love Revisited. It's this is a re-released on Sundazed. Love, the British or the the Los Angeles band featuring Arthur Lee. This is like a greatest hits album that came out originally in the 1960s. They were a super band, kind of like the Byrds and a little bit of Doors influence as well, but they predated the Doors. The Clique, Sugar on Sunday. Sugar on Sunday was a big hit single by The Clique, and I think it was originally a Tommy James and the Shondells song, written by Tommy James. There's another song on here called Superman, which was covered by, I think, REM in the 1980s. Gale Storm, Collectibles. This is a greatest hits compilation of Gale Storm. Gale Storm was a popular female vocalist, and I think she was on television back in the 1950s. I remember when I was a kid. Gale Storm is quite the name. She was a bit like Pat Boone in that she covered songs that were R&B hits. On this Greatest Hits collection, she does a cover of I Hear You Knocking, which was what Smiley Lewis song, or Fats Domino, I guess. And Why Do Fools Fall in Love, the Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers song. This is the Fabulous Rhinestones. They were from Chicago, early 1970s. There was one song that was kind of a hit from these guys, and it's What a Wonderful Thing We Have. It's a great song, written by Marty Greb, and Marty Greb was a member of the band, along with Cal David. Cal David came out of the Illinois Speed Press, and Marty Greb, I think, wrote songs for the Buckinghams. Some of the big hits the Buckinghams had. Davy Allen and the Arrows Blues Theme. This is instrumental fuzzy guitar music, mid-1960s. This is a great one to find. 1967. This is somebody that I like a lot, Chris Montez. His hits off this album were The More I See You and Call Me. He's on A&M. There's Herb Alpert. Herb Alpert produced the album. And this is another Chris Montez album called Foolin' Around from the same period. NRBQ. I know nothing about NRBQ except I've seen their name around many times. Should be interesting to listen to this. This is quite a rare psychedelic, late 60s psychedelic American band called Morning Dew. I mean, look at the cover on this. Very hippie-ish. It's on roulette. The only thing I've noticed on here in the cover, reading the jacket, there's one of the songs was co-written by Kerry Livgren, who was the guitar player in Kansas in the 1970s. And here's a couple of older classics. Everything you always wanted to hear by the Chiffons but couldn't get. Try to find a Chiffons album. They're pretty hard to find. And this is a re-released from the 1970s. It has, it has about 16 songs on it, which is pretty good. And it sounds good. One of my favorite girl bands. And this is one I've been wanting for a long time. It's the Supremes' first LP, Meet the Supremes, from 1963. This is not an original copy. The original copy is worth mega bucks. This is a re-release from the 1980s, actually. It's a Canadian re-release. But even the re-release is very hard to find. Thank you again for watching.